Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about 10 records that I would love to find under the Christmas tree. 10 records I'd love Santa to bring my way. They're hard to get. I consider them grails, pretty pricey, and yet these are records that I would love to find. And I made a video like this last year and I went back and watched it just out of curiosity. I couldn't remember which 10 records I was wanting last year. I was surprised when I went back and watched it to learn that I actually have acquired 7 of the 10 records that I wanted last year. So a couple of them are back on the list this year. I'm just really pleased that I was able to get those from last year. These are the records that I would really love to have under the tree this year. They're hard to get, they're pretty pricey. So that's why I say I wish Santa would bring them, because they really truly are just dream records. You know, the further you get into vinyl collecting, the harder it gets to get some of these records because the stakes go up. You want bigger and better things as you go along. So if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. And on a personal note, I want to thank each and every one of you who reached out to me to check on the safety of my family. Kentucky was hit really hard with some tremendous tornadoes. My heart breaks for the families affected. We have had a tremendous loss of life. People have lost everything, and it is just truly a tragic time for the state of Kentucky. I'm happy to say my family is safe. We are feeling extremely grateful because my daughter and her husband were only 1 mile away from the deadly tornadoes in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So it's unbelievable, the destruction. My daughter is helping as a medical student. She's going into the areas, checking for survivors or maybe just recovery efforts at this time. I'm really proud of her for wanting to help out. And thank you to everyone who has reached out. It has been truly a heartbreaking time for the state of Kentucky. And just thank you, and please continue to pray for the state of Kentucky and for all the families who've lost everything. So now let's go ahead and move on with the video. First off, I do want to show a record that was given to me as a gift by First Boy on the Moon. And I saw them on Steve Carlson's channel. He talked about them. They are a wonderful band out of Sweden. They have a punk, a rock, alternative kind of feel, and they were formed in 2019. They are a Swedish band, but they have roots from Huntington Beach, California. And the lead singer, songwriter, and guitar player, David Pedroza, has been rooted in a punk scene kind of music. I say this is more like an alternative rock. I really love the Killers, and I put them in a little bit of a similar category with the Killers. I think David's vocals, to me, sound a little bit like a restrained Bono. And if you put in the lead singer with Tears for Fears, if you put that in a blender, that's kind of the sound of David's vocals. He's really gifted, and the guitar playing on here is really great. This is a good record, alternative rock, and I personally love the song What Alice Was Talking About. It's probably my favorite. Drown It Out. Just a really cool record to be given, and I strongly advise you check it out, and if you like it, buy it. And it's on what I think is probably the most beautiful color vinyl you can get, this beautiful shade of blue on transparent vinyl. And I will say this particular copy was dead silent. When I put it on, I was kind of wondering, is something wrong with my stereo equipment? Because I just didn't get that usual sound until the music came in. So thank you so much to the band First Boy on the Moon. Check out their music, check out the album, and if you like it, purchase it. It's a good album to have. And now I wanted to show you really quickly the 7 albums that I was able to get out of my top 10 from last year. And then I'm going to tell you the 10 records that I'm going to be looking for, if not under the tree, which of course I don't expect to get under the tree. These are the records I really would love to own next year. First off, let's show you the records I was able to get last year that were on the list. Kiss Symphony by Kiss, a record I honestly never thought I would own. It was under the tree last year by my husband. He gave it to me as a Christmas gift. This is another killer record I got last year. Chicago Transit Authority. This is the mobile fidelity version. Original master recording. Sounds incredible. Here's the Beatles' Let It Be, the original master recording. A great one. Of course, that new remix that came out sounds incredible as well, and is less money. But I have been collecting these mobile fidelity Beatles records, so I was really happy to add that one to the ones I have. This was fantastic. Music on vinyl, reissued. Velvett Fogg, a psychedelic band. They have a really cool song called Come Away Melinda. I love this version of that song. This is a record. To own an original will cost you hundreds of dollars. So I am so happy to have this in the collection for a mere fraction of that price. Here's another one I was wanting last year that I now have in my collection. Cheap Trick's Epic Archives. This is volume 1. I already had volumes 2, and 3, and now I finally have volume 1. So very happy to have that one. This is Michael Jackson's Thriller, the half-speed mastered version. Love this record, and I'm thrilled to have the half-speed mastered version. But I would say if you're really wanting this record, just to get a very clean version of an original will do you very well and probably cost a little bit less. But very happy to have those. And if you look in the background, you might be able to see in the far background, I do have the Rolling Stones in mono box set. That was on the list last year, and my good friend Brian sold this box set to me at a very fair price. So that was a huge thrill for me to have. And now I want to talk to you about the records I would love to find under the tree this year. These are the records that I want. These are the top 10 records. They're very pricey. They are dream records, okay? They're not something that I'm just going to go out and purchase on a whim. These would be right time, right place, right kind of money kind of records. So, don't get too judgmental when you hear some of these prices. Some people are willing to work overtime, save money for a long period of time to acquire these records. For me personally, there are prices and money lines that I won't cross because this is just a fun hobby for me. But you know what? Some people are willing to spend more, some are willing to spend less, and I don't think we should be very judgmental about that. It's a personal decision and personal finances. So let's go ahead and get started with number 10. A record I'd really love to have in my collection is Blue Train by John Coltrane. It is really hard to find right now. To get a brand new vinyl version, I don't know where to find a really good copy of that. Unfortunately, a few months ago when I was record shopping at a store, I had it in my hands and I was going to buy a copy. The record store owner talked me out of it. It was an 80s reissue that he didn't think I would be happy with. I kind of wish I would have went ahead and picked it up because, like I said, I can't find that record anywhere. Now, Blue Note is putting out all of these classic vinyl records. I can't help but to think Blue Train has got to be on that list somewhere soon. I hope so, because that would be an incredible release and it's much needed. So at number 10, Blue Train by John Coltrane. At number 9, I would love to have the Kinks mono box set. It is one that passed me by when it was out. It's out of print now, very pricey. It's a right price, right place, right price kind of box set for me. I would love to have it. The Kinks are a great band and their records are really hard to find in great shape. So to have the mono box set would be wonderful. I've heard great things about it. So at number 9, I would love to have the Kinks mono box set. At number 8, I would love to have the Beatles mobile fidelity original master recording. That's a really good record, and I already have Revolver to enjoy, but I have been collecting the mobile fidelity versions of the Beatles records, and of the later Beatles records, that's the one I'm still missing. So I'd love to have the original master recording of Revolver by the Beatles. At number 7, I would love to have Bob Dylan's Blood on the Tracks. I have an original copy of it that sounds okay, but I've heard wonderful things about the mobile fidelity one step and the original master recording records. I'm a little bit late to getting into Bob Dylan. In this last year, I have really, truly fallen in love with him as an artist, and I love the album Blood on the Tracks. So I didn't pick up the one step, and now it's pretty expensive. So that would be one I would love to have. If I find it at the right store for the right price, that'd be great. So at number 7, Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. We move on to number 6, and this is one that I can honestly say I've never seen it at a record store, never seen it at all, but I would love to have. It is In a Silent Way Sessions. That would be a wonderful box set to have by Mosaic. It's really pricey. On Discogs, it lasts for $500, so that's a really pricey box set. But if I ever run into it for the right price, that would be a great one to add to my collection. And I'm not big on having a lot of albums, just the sessions and outtakes and that kind of thing. But In a Silent Way is my favorite jazz album. So I think that would be a tremendous box set to have. At number 5 is another Miles Davis record that I hope I can pronounce somewhat correctly. Filet de Kilimanjaro. I think that would be a tremendous record to have, and I have ordered it from Music Direct. It is back ordered at this point. I think there's going to be some represses, and when that comes out, I will get it. But I ordered that a long time ago. I haven't heard anything about that one getting a repress anytime soon. So, I'm just going to wait and be patient, and hopefully that record will come my way. At number 5, another Bob Dylan record, and this one is Desire. And I have an original. It just doesn't sound very good in my opinion. I was pretty shocked because Columbia usually does a great job and the sound quality is usually incredible. That is one of my favorite Bob Dylan records. I love the song Isis. Sarah is one of the most beautiful love songs. Hurricane. The song Hurricane is right up there for me with Like a Rolling Stone. His lyrics are so impactful and incredible and important, and the vocal delivery is brilliant. The music is incredible. You want to dance, and at the same time, you're so involved in what he is telling you in the story of the hurricane. So if you don't think you're a Bob Dylan fan, I highly recommend you at least check out that song. It is so powerful. That album is so great. And I would love to have the mobile fidelity super vinyl version of that. I missed out on it because I was at work when I got the notification. I don't always get to check my phone when I'm at work. And it was sold out before I got a chance to order it. And it last sold on Discogs for $365. So I've heard Music on Vinyl has a version of that album. I would love to know the sound quality of the Music on Vinyl version. But you know what? We're talking about dreams here. We're talking about grails. So, the super vinyl by Mobile Fidelity would be the dream version of that record to have. So at number 4, Bob Dylan's Desire. And number 3 is a record that I had on last year's wish list. Didn't get it because, again, pricey. I've never seen it in a store. I've never seen it in person. At number 3 is Kiss, the originals. This is the 11 LP set on colored vinyl, and it starts with their debut album and goes all the way to Alive 2. So we're talking about 11 LPs, all on colored vinyl, beautiful packaging, just a very cool set to own. It last sold on Discogs for $733. Yikes, that's a lot of money. 11 LPs, so it's not like it's just for one record, but still insane. I'm allowed to dream, and that is on the dream list at number 3. At number 2 is a record that would be so incredible to own too. It is the Mobile Fidelity original master recording of the debut album by Boston. It goes for the big bucks. I can't even imagine how much it cost. I think it last sold for $390 on Discogs, so pretty pricey. But if I could ever run into it in a store, maybe bring some records for trade to help cut the costs, that would be a tremendous one to have. And I do have a beautiful Japanese version of it as well as an original, but I've heard the Mobile Fidelity version sounds fantastic. So that would be a huge one for me because I love that album. At number 1, this is a record that I talked about last year on my video and I haven't been able to get yet. It's obtainable, but it's getting harder and harder to find, and it is starting to get out of reach when it comes to price for me. And so at number 1, the record I'd love to have more than anything else, drumroll, is Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies. And yes, I have a 30th anniversary version of it that sounds fantastic. I even have a second pressing. But I would love to have Odyssey and Oracle by the Zombies, the first pressing on the Date label, in really good condition. It is just a desire of my heart to have. It's one of my favorite records. I'd say it's in my top 2, top 3 records of all time. So to have an original of that one would be a dream come true. The artwork is gorgeous. I've heard the first pressing sounds incredible. So those are the 10 records that I would love Santa to put under my tree or hopefully be able to accumulate over the next year. Let me know what your dream records are. I would love to know your grills as well. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.